Do you want to learn how to legally pay 0% taxes in Paraguay and avoid costly mistakes when setting up this tax residency? Stay until the end of this video and you'll discover what most advisors don't tell you about the tax residency in Paraguay. Explained by an international tax advisor who previously worked at Big Four firms. This is TaxMove, where ambitious people go global. Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we are going to talk about one of the most flexible tax residencies in the world. With this tax residency, you can spend winters in Bali, summers in Europe, and some time in the Caribbean. And yes, this is possible in Paraguay. Currently, due to its flexibility, Paraguay is one of the most popular and trendiest tax residencies. It's our favorite option for digital nomads looking for freedom and mobility, since you can maintain your tax residency by spending as little as 1 day in the country every 12 months. By the way, for those who don't know me, my name is Alejandro and I'm an international tax advisor with over 10 years experience in international taxation and wealth preservation. I've spent part of my career at Big Four firms working as a lawyer, and I've also lived in major financial hubs such as Amsterdam, Luxembourg, and currently Dubai. So as you can see, I'm not just another random YouTuber talking about taxes on the internet. Now let's talk about taxation in Paraguay. Paraguay operates under a territorial tax system, meaning that only income generated within the country is subject to taxation. However, keep in mind that Paraguay's territorial tax system is not as broad as Panama's, and it comes with certain nuances that we'll explain later in this video. Income generated within Paraguay is subject to a 10% personal income tax. The other key tax rates in Paraguay are a 10% corporate income tax and a 10% VAT. Becoming a tax resident in Paraguay involves three main steps. The first step is obtaining your temporary residency. This temporary residency is valid for 2 years, and after that period, it can be upgraded to permanent residency. In practice, to maintain your temporary residency and avoid administrative issues, it's generally recommended to visit Paraguay at least once every 12 months. The second step is obtaining your cédula, which is your national ID. The final step is obtaining your RUC number. The RUC is your tax identification number, which is required if you operate as a freelancer or carry out any economic activities in Paraguay. Once your RUC is activated, you can apply for the tax residency certificate in Paraguay. There are many misconceptions about tax residency in Paraguay. Even some Big Four firms claim that you need to spend at least 4 months every year in the country to qualify as a tax resident. This is not true. Under current Paraguayan regulations, the key requirement to become a tax resident in the country is having an activated RUC. With TaxMove, this entire process usually takes around 3 months. We've helped many individuals secure their tax residency in Paraguay. So if you are interested in becoming a tax resident in Paraguay, feel free to get in touch with us and one member of the team will get back to you to help you secure your tax residency in Paraguay. Now, let's talk about the best structure to fully benefit from the Paraguayan tax residency. As we've explained, Paraguay operates under a territorial tax system, but that system is not as broad as in other jurisdictions, so structure matters a lot. For individuals running digital businesses and not spending long periods of time in Paraguay, the most efficient approach is usually to operate through a foreign company rather than directly from Paraguay. In many cases, this means using a US LLC or another foreign entity to invoice clients, while avoiding the creation or taxable income at the Paraguayan level. As long as the income is not generated within Paraguay, a non-permanent establishment is created in the country, that foreign income will generally not be subject to taxation under Paraguay's territorial tax system. This type of structure allows you to benefit from Paraguay's flexibility while remaining compliant and avoiding unnecessary local taxation. To fully benefit from or properly complement your Paraguayan tax residency, you should also consider incorporating a Panama private interest foundation. This is one of the most powerful tools available for asset protection and wealth preservation. Panama foundations are hybrid structures that combine certain features of a trust with those of a legal entity. They are widely used for holding assets, structuring wealth, and long-term planning. From a tax perspective, Panama also operates under a territorial tax system. This means that foreign source income earned by the foundation is not subject to taxation in Panama. Moreover, distributions received by the beneficiaries of a Panama foundation are also considered foreign source income under Panama's territorial tax system. As a result, when properly structured, those distributions are not subject to taxation in Panama, and under Paraguay's territorial tax system, they are generally not taxable in Paraguay either. This type of structure can significantly enhance both tax efficiency and asset protection when combined with a Paraguayan tax residence. If you are enjoying this video, hit the like button and subscribe. It helps me creating content like this. Now, let's talk about the common mistakes people make when moving to Paraguay. The first common mistake is following advice from non-expert or non-seasoned advisors. If you provide services directly from Paraguay, you'll be required to invoice using your RUC as a freelancer. In that case, your income will be subject to a 10% personal income tax plus a 10% VAT. However, it's important to understand that in Paraguay, most personal and day-to-day expenses are deductible for tax purposes. This means that even though the nominal personal income tax rate in Paraguay is 10%, your effective tax rate can be significantly lower depending on your expense structure. The second mistake is overlooking the permanent establishment rules in Paraguay. Under Paraguayan domestic tax law, if you sign contracts on behalf of a foreign corporation, you may be exposed to corporate income tax, as this can create a permanent establishment in the country. This means you must be very careful when signing contracts from Paraguay on behalf of a foreign US LLC. Otherwise, a 10% corporate income tax may be triggered. The third common mistake is thinking that you automatically stop being a tax resident in your home country by just setting up your tax residency in Paraguay. You must carefully analyze the tax residency rules of the country you are living to make sure you are not considered a tax resident there for the relevant tax year. Otherwise, your tax residency in Paraguay may become completely useless. Now, to conclude, let's talk about the pros and cons of the Paraguay tax residency. The first pro is obviously taxation. As mentioned, Paraguay operates under a territorial tax system, meaning that you will only pay taxes on income generated within the country. So, with the proper setup, yes, you can pay 0% taxes in Paraguay. Another major pro is flexibility. Other countries in Latin America, such as Panama, Costa Rica, or the Dominican Republic, require a minimum physical presence of around 6 months per year. In Paraguay, you can maintain your tax residency by spending as little as 1 single day per year in the country and still obtain the tax residency certificate. Regarding the cons, Paraguay is mainly a tax residency designed for digital nomads. It's not an ideal tax residency for high net worth individuals or for businesses with companies operating across different countries. The main reason is that Paraguay has a very limited double tax treaty network. So, if you need to benefit from reduced withholding tax rate under double tax treaties, Paraguay is usually not the best option. In those cases, you should consider other jurisdictions such as Dubai in the UAE or Panama, as they have a more extensive treaty network. Cyprus is another example of a jurisdiction with an extensive double tax treaty network. The final con is networking opportunities. If you plan to settle or live permanently in Paraguay, keep in mind that networking opportunities are quite limited in this country compared to other jurisdictions such as Dubai, in the UAE, or even Panama. So as you can see, Paraguay can be a great tax residency option for some people, but a terrible one for others. Everything depends on your personal situation, your income structure, and how well the move is planned. Now, you have two options. Option number one is relying on the first random service provider to handle your tax residency in Paraguay. And option number two is getting in touch with TaxMove today and let us handle all the paperwork while we analyze your case in detail. Thank you so much for watching this video and drop a comment below if you think we've missed something.